Pisces. I have been trying to do this video for weeks. Obviously, I'm super biased towards Pisces, and I always want to do theirs first. But it doesn't work like that. So, yes, I was just watching The Giving Tree. I say watching because I wanted to find a link that I could give to you guys. Because I think it's, if you've never read The Giving Tree before, it's a children's book. It has a super powerful message. And I think it's really, really important for Pisces especially. Yeah, so, long story short, you know, there's this tree, right? And it shows this little boy, and when he's a kid, he, plays with the tree. He, collects all the leaves and jumps in them and swings on the branches, and, he climbs up the tree. As he gets older, he brings his girlfriend there, and they carve their name and a heart in the tree. And then the boy goes away for a long time. And then he comes back and he's like, hey. And the tree's like, oh my god, hi. So excited to see him. And he's like, I need money. And the tree's like, okay, sure. I mean, I don't have money, but take my apples. You can go sell them for money. And he's like, all right, thanks. Leaves for another 10 years. Comes back and he's like, hey. So I'm an adult now. And she's like, oh, we'll play on, climb up my trunk, play with my branches, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I'm too busy for that. I need a house. Oh, okay, yeah, you can take my trunk or no, it was, you can take my branches and, you can cut them off and use them to make a house. He's like, all right, takes the branches away. 20 years later, comes back. He's an old man, right? Now he's like, hey. She's like, hi, still really happy to see him. I forget what he said he needed. Oh. But she's like, oh, a boat. He's retired. So she's like, we don't have a boat, but take my trunk. You can cut it, cut it down and make it into a boat. So he's like, all right. Takes her trunk, makes her into a boat. So now this poor tree is a stump. And, she's given everything to this boy because she loves him. And, he comes back when he's a really old man and he's like, hey. She's like, hi, I'm sorry, I don't have anything left for you, I'm a stump. And the tree actually feels bad, that's all she had to give him, but he was the one who took so much from her, It's like she gave and gave and gave until there was nothing left. But she still feels bad that she doesn't have anything for him to take. So he just sits on the stump because he's like, oh, I just need somewhere to sit. But she just gave all of herself until there was nothing left. And I feel like for Pisces, this is a huge theme for you guys, us, where it's, you want to just give. You want unconditional love, and everyone can love unconditionally, but I feel like Pisces is the most tapped into loving unconditionally. And, there's one topic that I really want to go into with you guys. Yeah. Everyone is huge on, on here, on YouTube videos, everyone's like, narcissist, this is a narcissist, and they're a narcissist. Hey, listen, trust me, I have dealt with many narcissists. There are many in my life right now. And if you're an empath, you will deal with them endlessly. But as you learn more, you learn how to deal with them and not become like the Giving Tree. Maybe the more you learn, it's like you can... That fan was probably loud. It's like you can learn to spot who's just trying to take from you. And you can maybe see who is an outright narcissist. But, you know, you can easily get into relationships with people who are codependent. Maybe you've been codependent before, you know? Carl, don't. Hello, Carl. He's like, where's my attention? Right here. Are you going to say hi? Say hello. Anyway, codependency, it's not insidious like narcissism, right? And here's the thing. I have been very, very, very hurt by narcissists before. But I also have an understanding that, you know, narcissists aren't just, they don't do what they do because they want to, you know? There's this saying that's like, hurt people hurt people. And it's true, you know? So, you know, it's very simple to essentially demonize somebody who is narcissistic and assume they're evil and blah, 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 blah. But they're not. You know, they're coming from a place of hurt, just like you are. And, you know, it's like some people become really selfish because really selfish and self-centered and take whatever they can because, you know, growing up, they had to, it could be, you know, they didn't get enough attention, so they had to look out for themselves. Who else was going to? And yeah, and I'm not saying give endlessly to narcissists because, again, you'll have a giving tree type situation very quickly. But yeah, codependency can be very destructive as well. Yeah, and the main thing I wanted to talk about is, you know, I think Pisces is used to being like the giving tree. And I think, you know, lately Pisces has been having this moment where they're waking up and they're like, hey, if I give you all my energy, what am I going to have left for myself? People are like, no, just give it because, like, you know, you always give it. But, like, you know, and then it's like, well, wait, if I do this, I'm not going to have the energy to do the things that I need to do later. Wait, I'm going to feel like garbage if I do this for you. And people are like, yeah, I know, but, like, it's fine. It's cool. Just do it. And, you know, I think lately Pisces has been having this, like, awakening where they're like, I'm not going to do that this time. And people are like, what? Yeah, you are. And Pisces is like, no, I'm going to do the thing that I need to do or want to do. Whether that's separating yourself from someone, doing favors, being like, you know, someone's emotional support pillar. If you're being somebody's emotional support pillar, if you need something, who's supporting you if you're supporting somebody else? Well, nobody. You just feel unstable and drained, and it's like, but I have to hold up this person. And, you know, Pisces, you're starting to shock people because you're finally like, hey, I can take care of myself. I'm a human, just like everyone else that I take care of. And nobody's taking care of me. So I think the way that needs to change is I need to start taking care of myself. And when you have people you've been dealing with maybe your whole life who are used to you being the giving tree, and you suddenly being like, no, I'm going to keep my branches. You know, people are like, how can you be so selfish? And it's like, I'm not being selfish. I'm being like, this is a normal amount of self-care. This is like, I need these fucking branches. You know, I'm an apple tree. Like, if I give you my branches, how am I going to grow more apples? That's what I do. Just like a Pisces. Hello. The chariot just popped out. Okay. And like a Pisces, it's like, what am I? I'm the emotional sponge for the world, but there's a healthy way to be that emotional sponge where you can transmute that energy and help people heal. But if you're just letting people, you know, soak into that sponge where it's just negative and it's not productive and, you know, maybe your sponge is so full that you don't have any emotions left for yourself and you can't make sense of life and you're stagnant and stuck. And it's like, you're finally waking up and being like, I deserve more than I'm giving myself. Okay? And if that sounds like you need to listen to that inner voice that's like, Pisces, take care of yourself, because you deserve it as much as everyone else that you help. Okay, let's see. Trying to get into your reading as quickly as possible, because people don't like when I have all this wisdom to give. They're just like, just do the reading. I'm like, then don't listen to my insight. I don't know. Ooh. Yeah, okay, I've got spread. Sorry, I'm not even hyper. I'm tired. Yeah, you know, I'm Pisces. I'm doing the same things you are. Well, again, Sun is Pisces, Aries, and Moon is Pisces. So my emotional self is super Pisces. I feel like these are important. Okay. And I got this new deck. It's very cool. Osho Zen Tarot. And I'm using these for, you know, the energies going into the reading. I'm going to put a link to the Giving Tree in the description below, by the way. So, like, if you feel like crying, like, seriously, you might not have a soul if you watch that and don't cry. Yeah. Anyway. So, anyway, bottom of the deck here, we have slowing down. In the bottom of the tarot deck, we have the King of Cups in the reverse. Who around you is being emotionally manipulative? Right? All right. So going into the reading, we have Control in the reverse. I still haven't decided if I'm going to read these cards in reverse yet. Okay, the way I'm going to see this is external control, right? Where it's, yeah, I feel like there is somebody externally who is trying to put some kind of control over you. And it's like, you've been through enough to realize when somebody's doing that, but maybe at this point, you didn't have, like, you know, the balls to completely be like, hey, fuck off, you know, like, you know, so I feel like you were kind of like figuring out, you're kind of figuring out like the right way to deal with that. So in the past, I just decided to put two cards here. So we have the Page of Cups in the reverse and the Knight of Cups crossing it. So the Page of Cups in the reverse, because we also have the Emperor and Temperance here. So I feel like you were dealing with somebody who actually was very emotionally immature, but was coming in with this very tempting offer where it's like you sense their emotional immaturity, but the way they're presenting this offer to you, you know, you're doubting yourself. Like, well, no, they seem fine, but intuitively, like, you knew, like, you were levels above this person, like in an emotional maturity. You know, on paper, this person is very successful. You know, they do very well for themselves and they appear very balanced, right? You know, they appear very balanced, very good, very wholesome, very in control of their stuff. So despite what your intuition is saying about emotional maturity and all of that, you know, you're kind of like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And in the present, man, even when I have nails, I can't pick these up. In the present, we have the Hermit in the reverse. Seven of Swords in the upright, right in the middle of the spread. And the Star in reverse. So I feel like you've really, okay, Pisces is always introspective, like, let's be honest. But I feel like Pisces is coming out of a time of really, really, really being introspective to the point of isolation. And they're kind of like, all right, well, I see what's around me. I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. And they're kind of making whatever escape that they need to. And maybe Pisces hasn't fully worked on their assertiveness yet, and they're kind of trying to get out of a situation with as little conflict as possible because they see how unhealthy it is. They see, you know, like, hey, this isn't healthy. You know, like, look, in the Star, the water that's at the bottom, you know, if you turn it in the reverse, the water's all pouring out. It's like, you know, all this like emotional leveling up that I've done over the years and through my experiences. It's like I'm pouring myself into something where it's not really going to get anywhere. Like it's not like a, you know, a cup that you can fill. It's just dumping out. And, you know, maybe there's someone around you who, you know, maybe this person, like, they're being the ones who are sneaky and, like, trying to avoid telling you everything. And they, you know, they think that they're able to continue like this. Maybe they're refusing to look at themselves and really see what's going on and what the problems are. Maybe they're completely just hopeless and wallowing in self-pity as well, which, when you have the Star in reverse. But it's like, the wallowing in self-pity is looking at, you know, our external environment and seeing, hey, what's not working? Why is it not working? And instead of focusing on why, it's more, I'm going to sit here and feel terrible about myself. But it's like, you have the power to fix it. And it's like, you know, they could sneak off from dealing with that. Maybe with, I don't know, alcohol, drugs, whatever, but there's just, if this is the other person, I'm seeing a need to look within, refusal to do that, and just sneaking away from that need by whatever means possible. In the future, you have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, the Fool, and the Two of Pentacles. You are making a bold, clean cut forward. You're like, all right, enough of this. I don't want this anymore. I can't deal with this anymore. And, you know, it's like you've been debating this decision for a really long time. You know, it's the Ace of Pentacles. It's a new beginning. It's a new thing. And it's like, well, do I want this thing? And, you know, Pisces is the sign of two fish. The two fish are in conflict with each other. And, you know, finally you're like, you know what, screw this. I don't want that anymore. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to walk off this cliff. It looks like there's a huge ocean under me. And I'm going to go dive into that instead of freaking out on this cliff because I would much rather go swimming. And, you know, I normally wouldn't pick two tarot cards to come out of the reading here, but we have the World in reverse and the Seven of Cups in the reverse. So I think this is, sorry, my neck is killing me. I think this is once you make that leap. You know, the world is your oyster. You have so many choices. And I think you might have a hard time seeing all of these choices and thinking you're limited to one. You know, it's like, or you might, yeah, or it's like you might feel like, I don't know why I just like blanked out with that. It's weird. If this is a romantic relationship, make sure you don't walk back into the same cycle by picking a similar partner. You need to take time out to refocus yourself and, you know, review what you just went through, to make sure you're not taking the same actions. But, you know, coming out with these two cards, we have friendliness and the burden in the reverse. And I think this is just, you know, learning to be social again, learning to be friendly and learning to just appreciate people around you who are friendly. And it's like if you've lost any parts of your life or you felt like your social life declined, you don't have people who are close to you anymore. I feel like it's, you know, getting back in touch with that. So I'm not seeing like this super destructive, like broken energy, which I've seen in some Pisces readings. This is like you're sure of yourself and you're getting more sure of yourself and you're able to actually see when it's time to walk away and see, okay, I'm going to cut this off before I get to that point again because I don't need that. So, yeah, Pisces, I mean, it's like you guys have come so far and you have such unique, special, empathetic energy, and some people are going to take advantage of that. You know, there are two types of people. There are people who give and people who take. And if you're someone who gives, you need to be able to put up that boundary when you've given enough and stop and say, that's all I can give you. Don't be like the giving tree and just keep giving because people will just keep taking. So that is all I have for you guys right now. I will see you next month. And thank you so much for being here. Good luck, guys.